As I was considering the barriers that would affect aging populations experiencing increased social isolation, one of the first things that came to mind for me was sort of just the American cultural view of valuing individuals based off of their function and their contribution to society. And I think that's something that's very prevalent in American culture today, and it makes it difficult for elderly populations to get all the support that they need because they aren't always viewed as being contributing members of society all the time, regardless of the innate value that they possess as a human being. And I know that there's a huge cultural aspect to that as well. There are many subcultures in America who have uh, a, an immense amount of respect for their elderly populations, and they treat that relationship very differently than a lot of other cultures in America do. Um, and then the other element that I thought of quite a bit was just the technology gap that exists with a lot of elderly populations today, and how over the last I believe that like historically families have in America have typically stayed in like similar geographical areas, and it's only been in the last, I don't know, maybe 40, 50 years where you'll see a lot more moving away, going to college, and then moving across the country, and so there's a lot more disconnection geographically for families, and that can be really hard for aging populations who maybe didn't jump into learning technology as much as others might have, and struggle with a tool for communication that is so necessary in today's age. And I think about my own relationship, like with my grandparents, and how grateful I am that they were really able to kind of figure out video communication during the COVID pandemic, and we were able to stay really well connected with them, and they were able to stay really well connected with their other friends. But that's just a gap that a lot of people don't have access to, or the training to be able to use it. Um, I found a an article by excuse me, Guarnera, Ewan and McPherson, that was a review of cognitive aging and isolation. And the biggest takeaway from it, being a review, was that there is very poor quality um, research in this area, pretty much top to bottom. Um, we know that as cognitive functions decline with age, isolation increases, but there is next to nothing that is concrete about what types of mediators, moderators there are, how different um, elements affect it, really poor measurement strategies for how you measure social isolation. Um, and I think that one of the most important things that we as social workers can do to support that is just to advocate for funding and resources to go towards teams who are working on that, who are working to develop those types of measures to increase our understanding of how um, of the relationship between aging and isolation. Um, and in terms of what every social worker can do just on an individual basis, I think is really just when working with elderly populations, really giving them as many resources and training opportunities for learning technology as possible, and give them all the tools that they need to be able to use FaceTime, to use Zoom, to use all of these, to text, to use all of these digital communication strategies that in today's day and age, especially for a community that's much less mobile and much less able to get out into the community as much, that they be able to use those tools to help stay more connected.